3D Rising is out here in Washington, and we are at Mercer Island High School for the Northwest Invitational, and we are talking to Jason Griggs, the head coach of Coronado High School in Henderson, Nevada. And Coronado just defeated Claremont out of British Columbia by a score of 11-10. Coach, congrats on that win. Just tell us what that victory means to you.
Well, Claremont is a phenomenal team, phenomenal program. We have come very close each year. We've lost 3 games, 3 years in a row by 1 goal. Finally, we got them this year. It means a lot to my kids and myself as the coach.
You're out here at this event with all these different teams. Talk about the opportunity to be here and get a sampling of the best of the West.
This tournament is by far the best tournament we go to all year. We look forward to it. It's just ran so well, and the talent level of every team, I feel like every game is a war, and that's why we love coming here.
You're in your 4th year with the program and in the 2nd year as the head coach. Talk about what you're doing to try to keep this program where it's been for the last few years as a powerhouse and keep the program developing.
I think we do a different approach with my kids. We're lucky enough with the Las Vegas weather that we can play all year round. However, we do keep our kids together all year round, in the fall, in the summer, and during the season. We don't separate into different club teams, which most programs do. We stay in-house and we grow from our 2 feeder middle schools into our big Coronado High School.
As a guy from Long Island, what's your approach been? What have you sort of infused into the program in practice and I guess from a cultural point of view?
In Long Island, in my opinion, there's really strong dodging and ball movement. So I really work with my kids on offensive stuff and really pushing, dodging, and that's really something that the kids have gotten good at. What I do is I take them at a younger level and really put them against the older kids very early on, so they get the scare factor done right away. And once you break that in the 9th and 10th grade level, they're good to go.
Tell us a little bit about your program, how you've explained that you have 2 different programs, a red and a blue team. Just talk about that a little bit.
4 or 5 years ago, we had an idea to do 2 varsity teams just because of the number of kids that we got. We have 80 kids this year. And we have a red team, which is our top level varsity, and our blue team, which is our lower level. Our blue team varsity is all 9th and 10th graders, and they play a totally separate schedule. And blue actually does have to play red, but what it does is it's basically just like minor leagues for our team. They get the blue team out of the way for a year or 2, and then when they get to red, our top team, they're ready to go.
Just talk about the growth of lacrosse as a person from Long Island who now lives in Nevada. Just talk about the growth of the sport and what you're seeing.
It's incredible. The West Coast, not a lot of East Coast people give West Coast credit, but they should really start looking. My kids work really hard, and they're just as talented as the East Coast kids. Unfortunately, I had to move back to Long Island for 6 months, and I couldn't wait to get back to Las Vegas to coach my boys. And it's just waking up sunny when it's sunny out every day and not playing in the snow. It's a real pleasure.
And Coach, you've been here for, you said 4 or 5 years now. Just talk about the talent that comes to this event and I guess the unique opportunity that people like me and yourself have to see these players together in one place.
Every year we look forward to coming to this tournament. Ian does a great job putting this on and inviting the top teams in the West Coast. And as a coach, you couldn't want anything more out of a tournament to bring your kids and see how they pair up against some of the best teams in the West Coast.
You had a few players that really stood out today in your 11-10 win over Claremont, especially Blake Gross. He had 5-1. Just talk about Blake and maybe some of the other players.
Blake Gross, 2017 attackman, just a phenomenal player, works super hard on and off the field, great in school. He's an absolute pleasure. He just takes over games, and that's where we really need him, and it's just fun to watch him play and develop. Our second kid was Luke Gianni, 2017. He's our face-off guy. He does strictly face-offs. He loves doing it. He really works hard at facing off. And our third player today who did really well was Aldrich Chang, 2017 midfielder. Those 3, our 2017 class is just absolutely stacked with talent, and it's a tribute to them staying together for so many years.
If you could say something to college coaches who don't get a chance to come out and see not only players like that, but other players, what would you say?
I would say that, they need to maybe spread their wings a little bit and like instead of the hotbeds back east, because we have kids who are playing a lot more lacrosse now. For example, my kids play 11 months out of the year, and when back home in Long Island, we played 3, maybe 4 months during the spring season and then into the summer. So the kids that we're working with in the West Coast, they're really getting they're very talented, and they're getting better and better.
And you know, we see that at the Division I level, correct? And you have some alumni now who are doing that in Division I.
Yes, we have our first D1 player from our program is Kieran Eisler. He plays currently at Johns Hopkins. We have another D1 player, Quinn Eisler, who plays at High Point. Those two really led the way for our program, and were stepping stones for our kids to really take the program seriously and bring us to the next level. And it was also great. We would get some recognition from the college coaches as well.
Coach, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you very much.